Heart Snuggles. We hope you're having a really good day, and I'm so happy that you're here. We
Thank
have
you.
a guest on, and I love if you just gave everyone a little introduction of yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Onyedkwe. I'm a pathology scientist. I just graduated and I make TikToks, like positive TikToks, just to help people through the day. We're in lockdown, so I'm just trying to keep everyone positive, and it's really helping me keep positive. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. I'm really loving it.
That's so cool. And so tell me about what you studied.
I studied clinical science, so it's like a pre-med degree because I do eventually want to go and study medicine.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it's like a pre-med course, and we do a lot of lab work, a lot of anatomy work, things to do with cultures, things like that.
That's awesome. And
A little bit of the science nerd.
that's good. And how did you get started on TikTok?
um, it was actually funny. Lockdown here had just started, and I was laying on the ground. I think I was watching the NBA finals, and I just had it on in the background. I was laying on the ground, and I just said to myself, "I'm extremely bored. I'm extremely bored. So what can I do to channel all this energy I can't channel by going outside?" And I've always loved making videos. I've always loved filming videos and taking photos of other people. So I said to myself, I was always one of those people. I was like, I'm never going to get TikTok. I'm never going to get TikTok. So I see a lot of people doing it. Um, so let me try it out. And the rest is history. I just fell in love with actually making the videos.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I would wake up in the morning, and now I'm excited to have a really nice idea. I would just wake up and want to make that video. It's been really good.
So how do you access that creativity within you, or is it just like always there?
So most of the time, most of my videos, they have a story behind them. It's either something that I've dealt with myself or something that other people have come to me asking for advice. Because I'm sort of that friend in the friend group that loves to listen, loves to give advice. So the way I approach my videos is what's what would I have liked to see when I was going through that
Mm.
helps me to make that piece of content.
Mhm.
Um, and then I just put my own creative spin on it. I love to dance.
Yeah.
Love to dance, but even if it's goofy, I just like to move. So that's what I try to, that's what sort of comes into mind whenever I'm making a video like that.
That's so good. And so what are some things you learned about yourself during this quarantine?
Things I learned about myself. So at first, it was especially because I moved into this place right as lockdown was starting.
Mm.
So because I moved alone, I had to learn how to be by myself, how to like be happy with being by myself.
Mm.
And what I learned in this lockdown is how just relaxing and how free your mind is when you just have time to just chill with me, myself, and I.
Yes.
Really, like, it's been really beneficial. Like, I've started meditating, I'm reading a lot more. I'm just doing the things that I used to enjoy when I was a kid.
Mm.
So, of course, you have all the things you have to keep on top of, um, all the adulting side. But if you are on top of that, life is just so much more fulfilling. Like I've had such a good time in the last few weeks.
That's so good. I really enjoy, like, I've
Mm.
also developed that relationship with myself. And it's like,
Yeah.
once you move through that fear of like, I'm gonna be alone. And then
Yeah.
you're just like, wait, let me actually have fun with myself. And it's such a good time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then you really get to understand, like, you notice when you're like reacting, and you really get to know yourself so much better.
Yeah, most of the time I'll just watch. Most of the time I'll do something, even if it's not for a video. I'll do something and just have a laugh with myself. And that's, I think, is really important, not to take yourself too seriously. Do things for your own pleasure, not for the pleasure of someone else.
Ooh, yes. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's huge. And so how did you make that transition, or why did you choose to live by yourself?
Um, it was it was actually a breakup. It was a breakup because I was living with my ex-partner, and when we did break up, we were still living in the same house, and that was obviously very hard. Even when I tell people now that I was still living with my ex-girlfriend for this long before I was able to move out, It was quite a quick period of me moving out, but there was a period where I had to still live in the same house that you're not with someone. And that was really hard. Um, but when I did move out and got all my stuff set up, it just started to pick from there. Once I got over the initial shock of being alone, like doing all of these things alone, like losing your best friend and whatnot, that stuff is hard. But again, the way I say it to people is you have to like break yourself down to build yourself up in the image that you want. And I feel that's what I did, being able to move out into a place by myself.
Yeah, that must have been so hard. And
Yeah, it was. It was, but it's good now. It's really good now.
yeah. And so how did you manage all those emotions like in that during that time?
During that time, I did a lot of, like I said, I started meditating. I became very spiritual. I
Mm.
became very spiritual. I did a lot of meditating, did a lot of journal entries. I've actually got a journal that every day you write like things you're grateful for, things that you want to achieve, um, what's on your mind, why do you react the way you react. I just did a lot of, you could say, soul searching. I did a lot of soul searching, but it was easier for me to do because I was by myself. I was living life by my own schedule. So that's something that really helps me, and that's something that just helped me to move forward a little bit quicker.
Yeah. And so are a lot of your friends the same way, or like has that shifted as you've like grown into this new man?
Yeah, that has shifted a little bit. I still try to keep in contact. I still do keep in contact with those friends, but obviously we're all in the same friend group. And especially over the last few weeks, I've felt that I have been moving a lot, moving a lot, moving a lot. I do like to turn up for myself. I'm learning to turn up for myself now, but I'm still making time for the people that were there, like people that have had my back. I'd rather see my friends like one on one. There are some friends I'm really close to, and some friends I'm only close to when I'm in a group. So I've just been learning to spend one on one time with those people that I really enjoy my time with.
Mm. Yeah. So quality time is really important to you.
Yeah, it is. It is.
Is that one of your love languages? Do you know?
Um, I'd say my love language is the way I like love to be expressed to me is through acts of service. I think.
Mm.
Yeah, I'm more of an actions over words sort of person.
Yeah.
So when someone says one thing but their actions show me the opposite, I'm obviously going to look at their actions. So that's something that's really important to me. That and just physical, I think physical touch, is that what it's called?
Yeah. Yeah. Physical
Yeah.
touch is that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so good. And I love how you're just like noticing like what friends, you don't want to spend quality time with, and that you can
Yeah.
only hang out with in groups. And it's like I feel like as we get older and during this pandemic, we're like really realizing like who do we want to give this precious energy to?
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
It's like, and I say to myself a lot, like, yes, right now money is important, but I feel that time is more precious to me right now. Um, I want to be able to spend my time with people that um, will give my time and my energy to people that have been giving the same back to me, or like reciprocating it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's really being able to like, it's really been like a sifting period at the moment, just seeing where I find my place, like where I find my place in the group.
Hmm. And for your like as you notice maybe someone that you want to get distance to, do you just naturally take distance, or do you like actually have a conversation?
I think I just naturally take distance. I do. I'm I'm not very good at confrontation. So if I do want to distance myself from someone, the extent to which I would tell them I want to distance myself is I just need to chill from you. I just need to chill from you. I just need time away from you. Or I try not to do this often, but I'll just like keep on rescheduling until a time when I feel I'll be comfortable. I can have that proper conversation with them. Look, maybe we need to distance ourselves a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's always uncomfortable. It's like
It's always uncomfortable. It's never easy. Like I should just be able to talk it out. But I always say to myself, I need to talk to this person. I need to just tell them straight out. They're not gonna fault you for saying how you feel, but still, you still don't do it
Yeah.
sometimes.
Well, I think because sometimes like I mean, like for instance, I've been like traumatized sometimes from childhood or like parents, like when you speak your truth and then you're like, you weren't, uh, you were like faulted for it or had some
Yeah, yeah.
consequences. And so I feel like that's where it comes from. And some people just don't know how to handle it because they're like, yeah, not okay with themselves or
Or they've never like learn to like deal with those emotions. I think that was sort of me because growing up, like I was in a traditional Nigerian family. You're sort of just expected to just suck it up, suck it up and get past. So that's something that I'm learning the last few years, just to actually listen to those emotions and act on them.
yeah.
But no, so you don't have to turn up to not everything needs to be addressed. You don't have to turn up to every single argument.
Yes. Tell me more about your Nigerian background.
Uh, so I'm the first of four. So I have three other siblings. And yeah, growing up, it was very, very like strict, especially on me because I was the guinea pig of the family, firstborn. I had to be the good influence for the younger siblings. So it was a lot of me learning stuff for myself. And I never really was close, like too close to my parents cult, because of the culture gap, but also because of, I'd say, the age gap. So there was a big age gap between me and my parents. Um, it's only been in the last few years, like 2 or 3 years, that I've gotten extremely close with my parents because I've seen how even how I see how they are with my sister, who's the youngest, how they are with her, and how accepting and how much they've even developed with. It's a new age. Like we aren't in Nigeria, we're living in Australia. It's a little bit different. So they've learned to sort of adapt, and I've seen that, and that's what's helped me to get closer with my parents. Like I never used to talk to them about anything, but now I regularly text my mom, regularly text my dad. They always check up. We have Zoom calls every Monday night.
Cute.
Um, but yeah, it's been really nice. Like getting closer to them and being able to tell them things that perhaps I would have hidden from them before.
Yeah, that's so cool. I wonder how do you know how they like made that adjustment? Like, was it just because like they were kind of forced to living in Australia or?
I'm not sure. I think it was just um, maybe seeing how we each turn out as we grow.
Yeah.
Um, Maybe if one of us makes a mistake or feels that we can't tell them something, they say to us, "So how can we avoid that for the next time?" And
Mhm.
each and every time they become more and more understanding, which is what I feel happened because there are a lot of times when I was growing up where um, I they would know that I'm not telling them something because I feel uncomfortable telling them something,
Mm.
and I would wonder why is this happening. So they made sure to tell me that like they're proud of everything I'm doing, they're proud of whatever I choose to do, and they're telling my siblings that as well, which I'm really happy for.
That's so, I got the chills. That's so beautiful that like they actually, I find that a lot of parents don't shift, they're still like, you're not doing
Yeah,
what I want you to do, so I'm not going to give you love. Very conditional, but like, I'm so
yeah,
happy that your parents could like come into that unconditional love. That's like, wait, I just want to see you happy and like,
yeah,
oh,
exactly.
so good. And it also makes sense you being the oldest that like you love helping people and being that person to give advice and to listen because like you've always kind of had that role in your family, it sounds like.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so
It's been it's like a natural sort of nurture.
yeah.
Like you always just want to protect, you always want to protect your younger siblings and you want to be a good example for them. So that's what I'm just trying to be.
Yeah, that's awesome. And so also you were talking about or you told me that you have been having more eyes on you now that you're like doing this TikTok and being seen more. And so how does that feel and how it's been that like
I'll be honest, at first I was because I just started because I wanted an outlet for my boredom. That's how it all started. I wanted an outlet for my boredom. And and then more people just started watching my stuff. More people started watching my stuff. I said, what's going on? Um, why are people why are people enjoying this? Um, so when that started happening, I it was weird. I think I had mentally in myself had, because I don't see myself as like a huge personality.
Mhm.
So when I noticed that people were just enjoying my things that I found funny, even though like really quirky, because I've got so many sides to my videos. But I noticed that all the sides I was showing in my video, it told, like I said before, it tells a story about things in my life, things I enjoy in my life. Um, I didn't want it to be something that I'm just like taking something from someone else and just like putting my own spin on it. It's like me showing my creativity and telling a story about my life through humor. So and it wasn't even me that came up with that. It was one of the people that watch my videos. They said to me, the reason why your videos seem different is because you're giving a really important message, but you're doing it through humor, which is like really hard to do. And I was like, oh, it just made me very proud that I was doing that sort of stuff, but doing it unconsciously.
Yeah, just naturally.
Yeah,
Yeah, maybe that's like how you heal too. That's definitely how I heal. And like,
yeah,
the journey of healing and doing this hard stuff, and life is hard, and it's like we can either live in that suffering state where everything is just like ugh, or you can like make it fun even though it's like uncomfortable. And I find too, like, I'm really into play and being silly and having that energy along with it, because you get to choose. Like, it doesn't have to just be this like miserable thing. If you can bring light into
exactly.
a dark situation, it's, yeah, that's great.
It's really just about how you bounce back from things.
Yeah. And so, yeah, so how do you bounce back from things? I
How do
guess
I bounce back?
it depends on the
um,
situation, obviously, but
yeah, how I bounce back from things. I try not to be in the moment. I try not to be too reactive. Try not to be too reactive in the situation. Sometimes I do need a time where I can just step away, collect my thoughts. Because when you're in that state of reactivity, it's very easy to do things that you regret or things that you don't mean. So I've always been an advocate of just stepping away and just collecting your thoughts, relaxing, chilling out,
yeah.
coming back to it, addressing it. Um, and then just doing things that you enjoy, doing things that you used to love doing as a kid. Like I'm obsessed with gaming. I'm obsessed with anime. I love all that stuff. So whenever I do feel very agitated or very like upset about something, I'll just step away from the situation and just go and do that.
Mm.
Go and play a game or two on the PC. Go watch some anime. Uh, Naruto, by the way. I love. Whenever I'm feeling down, I just go back and watch montages of that.
What about the
But
Airbender, the last Airbender?
so, I love Avatar. I
Yeah.
love Avatar. um, yeah, Uncle Iroh always has some good advice, so I'm always listening to him. Um, just doing things that I enjoy when I am feeling upset or agitated.
Yeah, that's so important. It's like, I once you start doing this work, you realize how simple everything is. Like, those simple sayings are actually so true. It's like those little
Yes.
action. It's like not projecting when you're feeling something. It's like, I'm not gonna put it on you. I'm actually gonna sit with myself, make
Mm.
myself feel good, and then process what I'm feeling. And that's so empowering. So I'm really proud of you for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
And how do you stay true to yourself? Because you definitely have like a fun personality, and it seems like you're comfortable being yourself. So have you always been that way, or?
I've been able to be this way more because I was very self, like for example, I was very self-conscious. I actually made a few videos on this lately, just being true to yourself. Um, returning back to the fact of knowing why you're doing something. Um, Staying true, like for example, for me, staying true to myself, I always just remind myself, you have friends, you have family that adore you. They adore you for a reason. You have to just be yourself. If you if there was something that was repelling to other people, these people wouldn't be around you. So it's really, you have to be confident in, just be confident in your message. Just be confident what you want to tell people. If you say it with your chest, people will come along with you. Like people will listen to what you have to say and you'll be seen. That's the most important.
Yeah, and then you like as you do that too, it gives people permission to do that for themselves. And I think
Exactly.
that's a beautiful thing. It just keeps trickling. So it's like you're not just doing it for you, you're actually doing it for everyone around you.
I always say to myself, like I like to have people who like people that I look up to, but I also want to be the person that other people look up to. So like you always hear the saying of you like outgrowing your friends or moving on from your friends, but it's also okay to be that person that's motivating, like the motivator in the group, like bringing other people up with you. I think that's the best way to say it.
Yeah, I agree. And it's like, it's so important, like, you know, these echo chambers and stuff that we're in, where it's, if you don't have people from of all different areas of life, like life gets boring. It's like, it's good to have people that are like in all different stages. And I've always believed in that too. I think it's great because you can learn from someone no matter where they're at, even if they're like looking up to you, like you're still learning from them at some point too. And so, yeah, I think that's great to have that diversity.
I got a lot of, because I lived in a university accommodation, so we had a lot of exchange, like international exchange students, and that was really good to just like that was really good to get different cultures and just experience like how life is in other places.
Yeah.
I think that's how you start to understand yourself more because you see other perspectives a lot more.
Yeah, that's so true. When I lived in Australia for 2 years, and I've lived in New Zealand and spent some time in Bali, and like that's my favorite part of traveling is because you think like you're just shown how small your thoughts are. Like when you met with different perspectives, you're like, wait, everyone doesn't believe this or think this. Because like you're in wherever country you live in, you kind of just like develop these thoughts, and so I think that's so good. And Australia especially is such a multicultural melting pot that it's so cool to be immersed with all these different people.
Yeah.
And I saw you recently also made a video about being stuck. So how do you help yourself when you're feeling stuck?
When I'm feeling stuck, I just step away. I step away from it. I just step away because, like I said before, when you have so many thoughts or like you don't have the confidence to move forward, stepping away is the best thing. For me at least, stepping away is the best thing I can do because it allows me to reassess. Because maybe I'm not seeing something the way I would usually see it if I'm being logical. So if I step away, maybe look at it from a different angle, come back to it later and work on it. That's how I sort of push through those barriers of just like either blocks or just being stuck, or that's just how I work past things.
Yeah.
Give myself a think.
Yeah, I think that's great because sometimes, when you're in there, you just like get so lost in that one thing. You're like, why can't I move forward? It's like you just need to, take a step out.
Yes, the tunnel vision.
Yes, the tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good. And I was to ask this at the beginning, but what was the last random act of kindness someone did for you?
Oh, the last random act of kindness. At work, I think they saw that I was really tired and just grumpy. They actually came back with some Subway's cookies. And you know me, I absolutely love Subway cookies. I absolutely love them. So they, because I work in a lab, so when I went on my break, they came after me and they gave me this cookie and they said, I got this for you on my break. I was like, what? Thank you. I was so thankful. And it actually just turned my mood around for the rest of the night.
Those little, love those little random acts of kindness. And I'm also a cookie monster, so I feel you on that. My friends know. Yeah. They know.
Which one's your favorite? Would you rather the chocolate or like the macadamia?
Probably the chocolate. Yeah. What about you?
It was the chocolate that they gave me. It was really good.
That's so good. So, okay, cool. This has been an amazing conversation. And if people want to find you, or I guess, are you offering any services right now?
If people want to talk, they can just message me on Instagram, message me on Snapchat. I like to I like to interact with people, and because I'm in lockdown, I have no one to talk to except for when I go to work.
Yeah.
I like to help people if they need advice. But if anyone wants to reach me, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram by Onyedkwe, or they're the same on both. And then on Snapchat, it is on Yeezy, or you can follow the link tree on my Instagram. That'll just take you to everything.
Perfect. Yeah, that'll be in the show notes.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here and having this conversation.
Thank you for having me. Thank you, guys. This is really good, really good, really good.